Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Della, also known as Natural Ghana Girl. And today, boy, do I have a video for you. Today, I'm going to be answering all your juicy questions. Some of you are real nosy, right? Really nosy, but it's cool. Well, I'll deal with it. I'll take the questions. I'm gonna answer them as best I can. So this is probably gonna be a little bit of a long video, hopefully not too long. So I'm just gonna shoot right into it, okay? I'm gonna start with the first question. You guys are so nosy, honestly. Okay, the first one's nice and simple. Do you have any plans for landscaping your home? Kind of, but no, not really. I'm keeping it nice and simple because obviously I have to manage money, and so although I have lots of grand plans for the house, to actually bring someone into landscape for me right now is not really an option for me. I'm just kind of making the best of what I can do. And I'm not landscaping the whole compound. I'm literally landscaping the part where the Airbnb apartments are. Later on, when I do the main house, then maybe at that point, maybe I'm gonna be in a better position in order to bring someone in to kind of plan it properly and do the whole landscaping thing. Okay, all right, next question. Any chance you and your husband can be family again? Okay, I would never have made the video if there was going to be a chance of reconciliation, okay? As I said already, it's been 7 months and this is a new start for me, and it is what it is, do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna go into that too much, it just is what it is, do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, it's pretty much over. How are the kids dealing with separation? The children are good. Obviously, at first, it was a little bit of a shock, but they're handling it really well, actually. They're just getting on with things. You know, we talk. I feel like it's kind of brought us closer together in some respects as well. They put up with me because, you know, sometimes I like to put music on and then I dance around and they're like, Mum, you're so embarrassing. And so we have that kind of connection going on. So it's really nice in that way. So, you know, I kind of make it an open space for them to be able to say what they want to say. Sometimes they say too much. Borderline cheeky sometimes, so I've got my eye on that. Okay. How many hours a day do you dedicate to sustaining a social media presence? Okay. I don't actually have a set number of hours, but I would say, honestly, this whole thing is teamwork. I don't do everything by myself. I literally cannot do everything by myself. There's a great saying that, you know, if you want to, well, I'm paraphrasing the saying. If you want to scale up, right, you basically have to bring people in to help. Well, not one person can do everything themselves. So definitely where I can, I bring people in to help. So yeah, get help. If you want to scale up your business, get help. That's the key here. So I don't have a set number of hours that I dedicate to doing social media. Sometimes I sit down and think about ideas and things I'd like to try, and then I put it to the team, and then we see how we can make it happen. And that's pretty much it. Okay, someone wants to know about my YouTube journey, how I became a darling of the algorithm. Interestingly phrased, a darling of the algorithm. I would say I don't feel like I'm a darling of the algorithm. I feel like I struggle quite a lot when it comes to the algorithm, but I guess many people do. I think one of the things about YouTube is that you have to be consistent all the time, and that's not always easy to do. So a bit of that, I'm definitely not where I'd like to be, but I'm gonna get there. Let's put it that way. Okay. What made you decide to homeschool your children? I homeschool my children for very controversial reasons. I feel like the school system is set in a certain way where if your children don't fit into a certain peg hole, then they're made to feel a certain way, and it's not always necessarily the case. I feel like when it comes to children, you should hone in what the skills that they have, the interests that they have, rather than trying to memorize something in history that they probably never ever need again. So anyway, I'm not going to go into that too much because otherwise this will be a long video. I can do a whole video on that just by itself. So that's the reason why. It wasn't always on my mind to homeschool. I kind of fell into it because while we were transitioning to come to Ghana, the school year for my firstborn was about to start, and it was just a whole lot. It just wasn't going to work, and so I thought, okay, I'll just keep him out of school and let me see what I can do homeschooling. But it was never my initial thought, so that's how we got to where we are. And also, paying for schools in Ghana is really expensive. I don't have that kind of cash, right? So maybe another time I'll look at it, but for now, it's a no. Okay. How did you make friends in Ghana? You stated in a previous video that it was difficult. Yes, for me personally. So I'm kind of like a bit of an introvert, right? And I have a little bit of a quirky personality. So I kind of need other quirky people. Not that I need other people to be introverted as well, but I kind of need people that are going to understand my personality. And making friends here in Ghana, I found quite difficult because I wasn't finding the kind of people that I would immediately gel with. And that was difficult for me. And I guess that's partly because I wasn't raised in Ghana. And so, you know, in Ghana, when you go to a particular school, you kind of bond with a particular kind of people. You grow up with them and, you know, you have your similar interests and stuff. And so that just didn't happen for me. So it was like making friendships from the beginning. You know, if you don't have your school friends, then it makes it very difficult. And obviously, you know, I work for myself. I don't go to an office every day. And so I'm not meeting people in that sense. So now that here I am doing YouTube, so, you know, kind of testing friendships with people that do a similar thing. And sometimes it's worked out beautifully and sometimes it hasn't necessarily. And that's just because everybody has individual personalities and it's as simple as that. You just kind of got to keep your eyes open and kind of let things flow naturally. And I feel like that's the best way to make the best friendships, you know, just let it be natural. So I have a nice little inner circle that I can't tell you guys about because it's private and you can't be part of it. Not really. No, but I do have a really nice inner circle right now. And that kind of helps me a lot in kind of discovering myself. And, you know, they tell me stuff and they're like, nah, you should be doing this or you shouldn't be doing that. So that's really, really nice to have people that you can bounce things off, which is cool. How long have you been growing your locks? Okay, so my locks, I started doing, it's actually 2 years now. Yeah, 2 years, October. So I started off as a complete experiment. I know I get so many emails from people asking me all the time about my locks. How did I start it? Where do I go to get my locks retightened? This whole thing is an experiment. The kind of person I am, everything that I do is an experiment for the most part, okay? So I started off my locks with 2-strand twists and I just wanted to see what it would be like because I was being a bit lazy about my natural hair. I didn't like having, every time I needed to be in front of the camera, having to struggle to do my hair and all of that. So I just put in some 2-strand twists and I literally left them in and I maintained them myself because that's another story. But yeah, I maintained them myself. So I retied them myself and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's been 2 years. What's your favorite Ghanaian dish? Ooh, okay. So I really like banku and okra soup. I also like a groundnut soup as well with the rice balls. That's really, really nice. I struggle a bit with food, as you guys probably already know. I'm very, very particular about certain things. And right now I'm going through a phase where I'm not eating so much meat. And so sometimes finding some of these local dishes to eat, I struggle because they make everything into one. So they put all the meat into one. And then if you say, I don't want the meat, they just don't put the meat inside your bowl, which is kind of defeats the purpose. But yeah, those are my favorite dishes. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay. Can you share tips on multiple sources of income? Okay. Yes. So I think in Ghana, you absolutely have to have multiple sources of income. Like, it's not even an option. I mean, you'll find the average person in Ghana has multiple sources of income. I think when you move here, you definitely need to change your mindset in that sense. You know, us that are from the West, we have this thing where you have your job and that's what you have, that's what you do. You like don't do anything else. But here you absolutely have to. So for me, I have YouTube. I have other things that can bounce off YouTube, which is nice, but they're not always frequent. But I also do have a blog as well. So I run a hair blog and that kind of helps me as well. So I get my income from different places. I think that's the world that we live in right now, right? Where you have to be showing that you have to look at different ways to make your money, okay? You can't focus on one thing. Wherever that's gonna be, whatever it is you're gonna do, if you're gonna have an online business where you sell clothes on Instagram, whatever you're gonna do, you need to be doing it because right now, times are tough, you know what I'm saying? Okay. How much did you have in savings before making the move to Ghana? You guys are really nosy, man. Okay, I didn't have any savings, honestly. Like I said, I'm quite an experimental person, so although moving to Ghana, it was meant to be a long-term plan. We told everybody that we were coming for a year just to test it out. Really and truly, there were no footsteps to follow at the time. So it was like trying to muddle your way through everything that was happening. And so we just tried a thing. Do you know what I'm saying? If you understand, we just tried a thing. We had a house at the time, and that was kind of providing an income. So the rental income from that, which is what was sustaining us. But don't do that. I would never advise it, because that is too rocky. Things happen, and so your income can go like this. Don't do that, okay? So yeah, we didn't really have any savings, in all honesty. Do you think the Ghana government will spend money on improving infrastructure now that it's a popular destination? Interesting question. Okay, I feel that. Okay, do I feel that they will? I feel that they have plans to, written on paper somewhere. So make of that what you will. Yeah, it's definitely a popular destination. I feel like with a lot of people coming back and a lot of people wanting their businesses and things to excel, a lot of individuals are making things happen, probably even before the government is making things happen. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Read between the lines. Okay, thank you. Okay, how are you doing? I'm doing really well. I understand the meaning behind that question. Yeah, I'm doing really well. I am, as I said before, I'm on a journey of rediscovery, finding myself. I'm in a very happy place right now. And yeah, life is good, life is bright, I'm alive. So, yeah. Gosh, you guys, man. What caused your relationship to collapse? Okay, now this question, okay, I'm actually not going to answer, okay, right? It's because the reason I'm not going to answer, I know I've seen like the comments on the previous video that I did. The reason I'm not going to answer is because it's still fresh, even though it has been a certain period of time, it's still fresh. And it's obviously my life is, I do have a part of my life which is private, right? So it's not something I can necessarily go into. Maybe one day down the line, I will talk about it some more. But right now, it's not really something that I can really talk about. You understand, it's a sensitive issue. And so, yeah, as strong as I am, it's not something that I really want to put out there all over the internet. Some things are just private. So, yeah. Okay. Have you ever visited the United States? I have not, surprisingly. I've never, ever been. I have family there. I probably would like to visit, just to say I've visited. It's not really something I would even say is necessarily on my bucket list. I think I'd rather see a few African countries first. I guess if someone were to fly me out there, I'd probably go, but I could probably only do a week or two, just knowing the kind of person that I am. I love Africa so much. For me, it's home. I need sun. I have to have sun. I always say I'm solar powered because I just need the sun. And so, yeah, I guess as an experience, yeah, I'd like to do it. It's not somewhere that I would ever think about living. It's not somewhere that I'm overly interested in. I guess I'd just probably like to experience it just once type thing, really. Okay. How much money do you make on YouTube? Hey. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you. Okay, look. Okay, let me answer the question like a politician, okay? Now, YouTube, you can make as much money as you want on YouTube, depending on the kind of content that you do. So there are lots of varying factors when it comes to making YouTube videos. First of all, depending on the niche that you're in, depending how consistent you are, depending on how many views you can have on a video, your income can kind of go like this. So one month you can have an absolutely great month because you've had a few videos take off. The next month you can be like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? The algorithm absolutely hates me. So really and truly, it really does vary. But I think once you get going, you can kind of like have a little bit of a steady motion. But it really is one of those things which makes it difficult for people that actually want to start in YouTube, because honestly, YouTube is a long game, right? Don't expect to necessarily start a YouTube channel and start making money. It's not like that. You're going to struggle first. Let's put it that way, okay? You're really, really going to struggle. There are only a few cases where people take off like that, but it's not very often. Okay. Right. Will you rent out part of your house as Airbnb? Okay, so the plan is to rent out the 2 apartments that I have downstairs. I'm currently only working on one. That's the only part that I want to rent out as Airbnb. I don't really want to do it as a long-term letting, just because I am the kind of person that I am. I just love my space so much. Even though I've divided up the compounds, the person that's living here is still underneath me. And sometimes I just don't want to see anybody, because that's just the kind of character that I am. I'm just an introvert, and so sometimes I just don't want to see anybody. I just need my time. So for me, short lets are easier. So yeah, that's what it's going to be. I would never rent out the main part of the house, because that's my home. This is the first home that I've actually had in Ghana, so there's no way that I would think about renting this out or anything like that, no. Are your parents still alive? Yes, my parents are still alive. They're still alive and well. Okay. How does one refocus and reset their lives after such an abrupt change? Listen, right? Whatever the world throws at you, you deal with, okay? You can't curl up into a ball. You might do for the first day or two, but after that, you've got to get up, okay? And if you have a positive mindset, you can pretty much do anything you want. And I think it's very much about just remaining positive, always looking at the bright side of things, you know. I always say that I have friends that didn't even make it to 40. I have friends that didn't even make it to 30. I look at all that and I just see how grateful I am. I just feel like, you know, a lot of the time, someone would always want to be in your position. So no matter how bad you think your problems are, someone would swap with you right now with the click of a finger. So that's just how I look at life. So, you know, we don't have time to wallow and dwell on shoulda, woulda, coulda. We just move on. So you pick yourself up and you keep going, do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, God never gives you anything that you can never handle. So that's just how I see life, you know. Got to stay positive and all that. Okay. Now that you're not together, what is going to happen with the house? Exactly what has been happening all this time. I'm going to remain building it. I have a long way to go, but I'll just continue slowly, do what I can until one day it's completed. Follow the plan. That's it. How many siblings do you have and their ages? Okay, so I have two brothers. They're both younger than me. One is, gosh, I don't even know. He's 4 years younger than me. Oh gosh, so he must be 39. And the other one is 11 years younger than me. So he must be, I can't calculate, 32, 33. In fact, oh, it's almost his birthday. We're in October. Yeah, so yeah, two younger brothers. That's what I have. Okay. How much did you pay for your kitchen cabinets? Oh gosh. Honestly, I can't remember, but I paid in dollars. And right now, I'm just so glad that I finished paying for this kitchen, because why? The dollar rate right now. Yeah, so honestly, I can't remember offhand. I think it was around $8,000, 8 to 10 or something like that. Honestly, I can't remember. Once I finish paying for something, I never want to think about it again, okay? So honestly, I can't remember. But I do have a video where I spoke about the cost of the kitchen. So you can look back and you will find the video there. And I believe I break down the cost there. Okay. Do you still make money in England? And is it best to keep making money in the UK? Absolutely. Yes, I do still make money in the UK. So obviously, as I've already touched on, I make money from YouTube and the blog that I run online as well. Absolutely. If you can make your money from abroad, you definitely should. Right now, things in Ghana are tough for everybody. The Ghana city is not stable, so you need something that's stable, that's going to be able to keep you going. So absolutely, find a way to keep that money flowing, for sure. Can foreigners purchase land or a house in Ghana? Absolutely, you can. If you want to buy land, it's 50 years for foreigners for land, and even buying a house as well. If you're Ghanaian, it's 99 years. That's the last thing that I know. So, but correct me if I'm wrong. Who's the new man? Okay. You guys are so funny. I really don't understand why you guys assume that there's a new man in my life and all of that. There isn't a new man is the answer to your question. No. Yeah, there are a few DMs floating around, but no, there's no, not from me. I'm getting as in, please, let me just clarify that on camera. Okay, I'm getting a few DMs, but no, there's no man. No, just little old me here, sitting in front of a camera talking to you guys. No, there's no man. Okay, all right. Are you going to sell your house and divide your investment? Absolutely not. Okay. I'm not even going to go into that. I just read the question and that's it. There you go. Yeah. Oh, the person says, I'm currently in the same situation. Yeah, it's a tough one. You have to do what's right for you. Everybody's situation is completely different. I appreciate that everybody's situation will not be like mine. you kind of have to work out for yourself what is right. Yeah, I can't really say much more about that and without going into a lot of things that are deeply personal, so I'm just going to leave it there. Someone said, do you really love me? I love all mankind. So if you're human, yes, I do. Did the demands of vlogging bring about your separation? Absolutely not. No, it didn't. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. I'm just working on building a business. No, it had nothing to do with it at all, at all. Okay, what did you do for a living before moving to Ghana? Okay, so this kind of links back to the whole homeschooling thing for me as well, okay? So before I moved to Ghana, right, I was a PA, a personal assistant, and I absolutely hated it. Now, when I was younger, I actually wanted to be an accountant because I love numbers, like absolutely love figuring money out. I love that whole thing. And that was my passion back there. And then we had a careers day in school and the teacher said to me, what do you want to do? And I said, oh, I really want to be an accountant. And the teacher said to me, I think you'd be better as a secretary. And you see, when you have so much influence from somebody that actually doesn't care about you, they can tell you everything. And when you're very young, your mind is very impressionable and you feel like the person knows better than you. So I basically ran with what they told me, and that's what I ended up doing and hated every day of it. And I always had problems in my job. I couldn't hold on to a job because I hated it. It just wasn't for me. Or I wouldn't say I couldn't hold on to a job. I could hold on to a job, but I just hated it. It just wasn't for me. It just wouldn't make me happy. And so obviously I went through a stage where I then started having children, so I didn't have to go to work in that sense. And then we moved to Ghana and I've just started my own business, and so that's kind of worked for me. And that's it. And that was also the last question. Guys, you guys, man, seriously, you really put me through the ringer today, huh? I hope that I have answered your questions as, well, I know I've been truthful. I have answered your questions as truthful as possible. I hope I've given you what you wanted. For the most part, you know, there are some questions that I'm never gonna answer. It's just not possible, guys, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's the end of it. I'm sure you guys will put a few more questions into the comment section. I'll probably answer them there. I don't suppose there's any point in doing another Q&A. I'm sure you guys have got off your chest what you wanted to ask. So that is the end of that. You know what I'm saying? It was done. So yeah, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment and share this video. Until next time, I am out.